With a mere flick of his wrist, the missile beside him shot out instantly. Mid-air, it automatically split into over a dozen nuclear warheads, each homing in on its target as if guided by eyes. This formidable weapon was personally designed by Tony Stark. But Tony never imagined that the very weapons he created would nearly cost him his life. On the return trip from the weapons demonstration, a missile struck their convoy, instantly killing the entire security detail protecting him. Watching his bodyguards get shot down, Tony, unwilling to wait for death, fled the vehicle. Just as he crouched behind a rock to call for backup, something suddenly landed beside him. He looked closely and realized it was one of his own missiles, but it was too late to run. The intense shockwave hurled him hundreds of meters away. Anyone who'd survived a missile blast knew ordinary people couldn't survive such an explosion. But Tony was no ordinary man. Thanks to his purple gold soft armor, he survived, though shrapnel had pierced his body, blood gushing uncontrollably. This marked the beginning of his nightmare. In his dazed state, he felt someone cutting open his chest, the pain making him scream in agony. The next instant, his mouth and nose were covered, and he passed out. When he awoke, he found himself transformed into this state. He saw a tube plunging straight into his lung. It took Tony a long time to pull it out. After lying motionless for days, his limbs had stiffened. Even drinking a sip of water proved incredibly difficult. Only then did he notice a man standing before him. Tony dared not move rashly, rolling over cautiously. Suddenly, he felt something tug at him. Turning, he saw a car battery terminal sliding across his chest. Ignoring the pain, he tore open the bandage to find a circular piece of metal deeply embedded in his chest. He didn't know what had happened to him, but he was certain his life was ruined. He asked the man what the strange thing on his chest was, but the man replied that without it, Tony would have died long ago. It turned out shrapnel was scattered throughout Tony's blood vessels. The electromagnet in his chest prevented the shrapnel from reaching his heart, but this also meant he would depend on the battery to prolong his life for the rest of his days. Just then, the terrorists who had captured them burst in. Their true objective was to force Tony to build his latest weapon prototype here. They even showed him their armory, boasting they had every material he could need. But the sight before him utterly stunned Tony. Every weapon in the arsenal bore the Stark Industries logo. Tony had built these weapons to safeguard peace, yet now they had become tools of murder in the hands of these men. His convictions began to crumble, but survival came first. He feigned agreement, though his mind was already plotting an escape. His first task, disconnect the battery pack attached to his chest. He extracted the missile core assembly, removing only the target element component. After melting and reshaping the 11 missiles at high temperatures, he obtained a target ring the size of a bracelet. Attaching permanent magnets and undergoing precise welding and fabrication, he finally created a miniature arc emitter. Though palm-sized, it could unleash 3 billion joules of energy per second. Not only could it replace the life-saving device on his chest, but it also served a much greater purpose. Just as Dr. Baldhead was puzzled,